Whether you're looking to set up your first company or your 20th, the attraction of a ready-made company with a bank account can be enticing. Unfortunately, ready-made companies are one of the more opaque areas of internationalization. As such, it's no surprise that they're often misunderstood and misused. Like a hangover from the pre-internet offshore world, these entities are heavily promoted by corporate service providers seeking nothing more than profit. But adding to the mystique, they're also offered by world-class private banks and wealth managers, helping to streamline their clients' structuring needs. Of course, purchasing a ready-made company with a bank account from a private bank is far more credible than acquiring one from a Caribbean reseller named Dimitri. Bottom line, a ready-made company with a bank account isn't going to work for everyone, but it can still offer value for some people and businesses. To unlock that value, you need to make sure you're getting a legitimate company with a useful bank account, which is easier said than done. Otherwise, you might end up with inadequate banks, high fees, lost transfers, and account closures. In this video, we're going to explore your options when looking to purchase a ready-made company with a bank account, the opportunities and challenges, and we'll share a few lesser-known alternatives you can consider as well. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get alerted every time we post new non-resident banking opportunities. Now, there are several key jurisdictions where you can buy a ready-made company with a bank account. We'll cover several of these in this video. Additionally, to help you understand your options, we'll share a few of our findings from some of our existing articles on GlobalBanks.com that are focused on some of the top banking jurisdictions with ready-made companies at the end of this video. How to open a ready-made company with a bank account. Now, if you landed on this video, well, chances are you're in the market for a new company. And because you value your time and money, you want that company to have a bank account in the easiest, most streamlined way possible. Who doesn't? Unfortunately, banking has become one of the most challenging aspects of international business. And depending on which country your company is registered in, the type of business that you're in, and how much money you have, opening a bank account for a new company can be a painfully time-consuming process. Compiling documents, the due diligence process, and even financial obligations to open an account, such as high initial deposit and balance requirements, can make account opening feel impossible. So, it's no surprise that most people want to consider all of the options available so they can navigate these challenges in the fastest and most affordable way possible. One of the more popular options, purchase a ready-made company with a bank account already in place. But this too has its challenges. In fact, as we'll discuss further, the disadvantages may outweigh the benefits. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of buying a company with a bank account versus setting up a new company and opening an account on your own. But first, what is a ready-made company with a bank account? And what are the options? Basically, there are three types of ready-made companies with bank accounts that you can buy today. Number one, buy a ready-made company and a bank account. This option involves paying a service provider for a company that is already registered and then getting them to assist you with opening a bank account. The only question is, if the service provider isn't a banking expert, how are they going to help you open accounts? But here's the thing, banks want to deal directly with the owner of the company, not a third party. Corporate service providers tend to have a few go-to banks, and they simply send all of their clients to the same bank. There's no consideration for whether the bank will actually accept the client, the quality of the bank, the fees, or how long the account will stay open. Now, additionally, the fees that most corporate service providers charge to assist with bank account opening range from $500 to $5,000. And that fee only covers a one-time introduction to a banker without any guarantee that you can actually open an account. Number two, buy a ready-made company with a bank account and update the bank. Yes, it is possible to buy a ready-made company that already has a bank account in place. This is possible in almost all international business jurisdictions. And on the surface, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this as long as it's done in accordance with the relevant laws and regulations. What most people overlook with this approach, however, is that you still need to tell the bank that the company has had a change in ownership. And when you do that, most banks will put the new owner through the same onboarding and due diligence process that would occur if you opened a new account from the beginning. In other words, from a bank onboarding perspective, there is no real difference between buying a company with a bank account or without a bank account, except for the cost. You simply pay a larger fee up front for a ready-made company with a bank account. But in both cases, the bank will put the new owner through the exact same due diligence process. Number 3, buy a ready-made company from your private bank. Yes, certain banks will actually sell you a ready-made company with a bank account. In fact, top private banks and wealth managers from around the world offer ready-made companies to their clients, allowing clients to quickly and easily access various wealth management structures and investment opportunities. So, instead of relying on a corporate service provider, your private banker will offer you the option to purchase an existing company that the bank or the bank's partner has sitting on a shelf. This results in fast and immediate banking. However, to access this service, you'll need to be a client of the bank and already have an established relationship. Number 4, buy a ready-made company and appoint a representative to open a bank account. This is a common strategy that foreign non-residents use when trying to open bank accounts all over the world. What happens is this: you hire a local service provider, appoint them as the representative of your business, and then have them open accounts for the company. After the account is opened, they then remove the service provider. But there's 2 major problems with this approach. 1, you must repeat the due diligence. First, after you remove the service provider from the account, most banks will immediately require the new signatory of the bank account to go through the due diligence process all over again, meaning you're right back at square one and you just paid the service provider for nothing. 2, tax-related issues. Secondly, there could be potential tax-related issues with this approach. For example, in the US, if you appoint a US-based representative or manager, there is a possibility that your US company is now liable for US tax, since having US-based activities can create effectively connected income, or ECI. There's still some debate about whether appointing a local representative or manager creates US-sourced income and results in a US tax liability for the business. So, consult a qualified advisor before appointing a local manager, director, or representative based in the US or your desired jurisdiction. Number 5, buy a ready-made company with a bank account and don't update the bank. This approach should not be used by anyone. Instead, we're simply sharing to spread awareness about what not to do. Plus, information is power. If you're aware of the nefarious tactics that service providers use and don't work, you're less likely to be swindled. If this option is ever suggested to you, run in the opposite direction and find another service provider. This option involves purchasing a ready-made company with a bank account as described in option 2. But instead of informing the bank of the new ownership change, the new owner simply continues operating the company as usual with the same outdated account information, login details, and password. In other words, the new owner is just pretending to be the old owner of the company. And not surprisingly, this is illegal in pretty much every country. And on top of that, it goes against the account usage terms and conditions of every bank on the planet. The reason why some people may do this is simple. They want to gain access to the banking system without being identified or going through due diligence. And obviously, this is not a legitimate or legal approach to account opening or banking. Here are some of the common reasons why someone might do this. The new owner is worried that if they inform the bank of the ownership change, that the account will be shut down or frozen. They are worried that they won't be able to pass due diligence because of their passport or residency. And the new owner is poorly informed and doesn't realize what they are doing is illegal. The people that resort to this are often doing so for illegitimate reasons. So it's no surprise that using this approach can result in account termination, trigger investigations into both you and your business, and even result in you being blacklisted by the bank or the jurisdiction. Next, banking for a ready-made company. So now that we've covered the major obstacles, you might be wondering what your options are if you set up a company in an offshore financial center. Well, fortunately, there are many options available. In our report, How to Open Bank Accounts for Offshore Companies, we help you find the best bank for international and offshore companies, such as Belize, BVI, Hong Kong, Seychelles, and many more. In this report, we share the specific banks, the most successful account opening strategies, the unspoken rules, and the lesser-known account opening requirements that offshore companies often overlook and need to be aware of. We've looked at some of the unique challenges faced by some of the most popular ready-made company structures in Belize, BVI, Hong Kong, and Seychelles. Using the links below in the description to access articles on ready-made companies in different jurisdictions to learn more about your banking options and discover the pros and cons of each structure. Still want a ready-made company with a bank account? Well, if you still want to move forward with a ready-made company with a bank account, there are plenty of service providers that are willing to take your money. But as we've already discussed in this video, the bank accounts associated with the pre-made entities are often riddled with problems and use poor quality banks. Of course, if you're looking to access a ready-made company with a bank account through an existing private banking relationship, your company's banking prospects change dramatically. But if you can't access this private banking option, what should you do? A better approach is to buy a ready-made company and then proceed to open an account with a bank that understands both you and your business. This way, you ensure that you're opening an account with a quality bank, not one of the few banks that your service provider works with. Now, if you want to start opening accounts today, you can obviously use the information that I've shared in this video. Or you can access one of our account opening services and start taking action today. Each of our premium services are designed to help non-resident individuals, foreigners, and their businesses open international bank accounts. Whether you need personal, private, business, offshore, or even US banking, we have an account opening solution that will work for you. You can get started with GlobalBanks IQ, our international banking intelligence service. It gives you step-by-step instructions and all the tools you need to find and open accounts with top banks around the world. Plus, you'll unlock our international intelligence reports, account opening strategies, international bank database, and much more. We also have a dedicated US account opening service called GlobalBanks USA, which is 100% focused on helping non-residents, foreigners, and even foreign and offshore companies open bank accounts in the US. It involves direct one-on-one support from our team of experts and includes access to our US banking intelligence reports, US account opening strategies, and US bank database. And of course, there's our flagship service, GlobalBanks Insider. With GlobalBanks Insider, you'll get access to everything we offer, including all the benefits of GlobalBanks IQ and GlobalBanks USA, plus our entire library of our premium reports, the entire GlobalBanks database, and dedicated one-on-one support from our team of international banking experts to help you find and open the accounts you need. So, no matter where you're looking to bank in the world, you're only a few clicks away from finding and opening international accounts. To get started, just click the link in the description below to learn more about the available options. And before signing off, don't forget to hit subscribe so you get alerted every time we share new banking opportunities. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.